I did a soft launch of my SaaS roughly a month and a half ago, and I'm already profitable, which is kind of crazy. So let's talk about that. I'm going to break down my numbers, my stack, the rationale as to how I've taken the launch process and gotten to this point, my marketing, and then also just what the actual app is. So I'll start with the numbers because I know that's what you're curious about in roughly a month and a half. And if we look here, I think it was about June 28th when I first really started to get users on the app. So we're going to kind of use that as our starting point, if that makes sense. Since then, we have gotten roughly 200 users on the app since June 28th. And it is, as of recording this video, it's August 8th. So that's just over a month or about a month and a half or so, not even quite a month and a half since really soft launching this app. And like I said, 200 users on the app. The app itself is not free. It is a monthly subscription. Um, Not all 200 of those people are paying the monthly subscription, but that means that those are 200 people who have signed up for the app. More numbers in terms of actual revenue and things like that. Right now, the way it sits, we are Stripe is saying I'm at $240 in MRR. But basically, I'll give you the more granular look of it. Right now, we currently have 15 paying users of the app. Three of those are grandfathered in because when I first started the app, I had two payment tiers. I had a starter tier, which was $5 a month, and then I had my pro tier, which is $15 a month. The starter tier, which was $5, I have now I've removed that tier entirely. But at the time, I had three people who were on that tier, so I have decided to grandfather them into the pro features, but at their starter cost, which was that $5. So three of those 15 still pay $5 a month. The other 12 pay the 15 for right now because the app is in alpha. It's not fully launched. If you know video game terms, you understand what that means. But I'm in alpha right now. Because of that, right now, I have an early adopter offer, which essentially means that right now, if you are an early adopter to the app, you get the first month of your pro subscription for $10. So there's a free 7-day trial on the app. And then after that, for the first month, it's $10 for your first month of the subscription. And then after that, it becomes $15. So the way that I'm looking at it right now is the first 15 paying users that I have, three of those are $5, and then 12 of those are $15 if they're able to roll over to that actual $15 month. And like I said, we're only about a month and a half into this, so not everybody has rolled over to that yet. So that's kind of where I'm thinking about it. But anyways, that's where we're at on that. And then right now as well, I currently have, I think it's about 15 people who are currently in the trial and haven't canceled their trial. So I've got more than 15 people who are actually trialing. I think it's 19 people who are trialing right now. Four of them have pre-canceled their trial, so 15 of them are currently trialing and have not canceled. So the way I think of that is like 15. I'm going to do some quick maths here because I'm not a math whiz by any stretch of the imagination. But 15 times 15 would put me at that's $225 right there. So if we look at the numbers right now of people who are currently paying or trialing and haven't canceled, right now that puts us at about $420 in MRR. And I soft launched this a month and a half ago. That's crazy. Like $420 in MRR. Now, I don't know if this is the best way of calculating it. I'm brand new to this. I don't know. I'm learning as I go, but to me, that's kind of crazy. And in terms of like the profitability that I mentioned, this is the stack that I'm using to build this. So when I first set out to build this app, I actually started with Lovable. And the reason for that was, like I said, or I don't know if I mentioned this, but previously, since about October of last year, of 2025, I've been learning and dabbling into building SaaS apps. I have been trying a number of different things. I've had tons of ideas. I've done a lot of building, not a lot of shipping, but I've done a lot of building. And when I first started to build, I was brand new to this. So I was using VS Code and I was using ChatGPT to write code and then put it into VS Code, and then I was copying the logs and then bringing that back into ChatGPT, and then trying to fix the various problems. I was all over the place. I didn't know I was using Render, I was using Vercel, Supabase. I was using all of these individual entities, if you will, but I didn't know what I was doing, and it was really driving me crazy. And I was having a hard time, and what I was building wasn't being built well, and I was getting really overwhelmed with it. So I moved away from all of that, and then I decided to just let's just try out Lovable. Lovable is it's more simple, it's all integrated, and I can get my idea into something built a lot easier. And it allowed me to focus more on the design rather than all of the ins and outs of things. So I moved over to Lovable at the beginning of the year. And that's what I initially started to build this app on because it was a lot easier, a lot simpler. I got my MVP done in Lovable. And then recently, about 3 weeks ago, I don't even think it's been a month since I've transitioned. About 3 weeks ago, I think, I finally transitioned to Claude Code. So that's where I'm at now, is using Claude Code. So I've been using Lovable initially to build the app. Which, if you know anything about Lovable, the tokens, they're expensive on unlovable. They are expensive. In the initial process of me building, I spent a lot of tokens, a lot of money building stuff in Lovable. That was crazy, and it was driving me nuts. Because the quality of what you get in Lovable is also a lot more baseline. It works, it's functional, but the premium feel isn't really there, and I wanted to feel premium, right? So I decided to transition and using Claude Code. So right now I'm in a weird like middle place where I have uh I have migrated my build process out from Lovable and into Claude Code, because Claude Code has MCP connectors with Lovable, so it's able to dive in and do everything that Lovable would do, but through Claude, and it has a direct transition between the two. So every push that you do from Claude to GitHub, it immediately connects over to Lovable, which is really really nice. So what that does for me right now is that means that I don't have to worry about a front end or a back end. Supabase is built into Lovable. So the only things that I have outside of Lovable are, Post-Hog for my analytics, Stripe obviously for my payment processing, and then Claude Code for the actual coding, side of things. So that's the stack that I have right now. I pay for the Claude Max plan, the $100 a month plan, and that I don't pay anything for Post-Hog. I use MailerLite for my email marketing, and that's like $12 or something like that, very very small. So basically, what I'm trying to say is right now, when you look at what I'm earning from the MRR versus what I'm paying for the stack, it's profitable. I'm making more money than I'm spending at this very moment in time, just over a month into soft launching this SaaS, which is kind of crazy. Um, we're going to see where this goes. Now, in terms of marketing, what have I been doing? I've literally been doing organic social media marketing. That is all I've done. No paid ads. I have almost exclusively focused on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. The way that it usually works is I'll post on TikTok, I'll post anywhere from 1 to 3, sometimes more than that, TikToks a day. And then on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, I just post one. So usually, like whatever the first one is of the day that I post on TikTok, that's what gets posted to Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And that's been going really, really well. TikTok has been actually surprisingly like doing really solidly. I've got several videos that I've got, I think, two videos over 10,000 views, and several of them, at the 1 to 10,000 range. Um, and I've been able to identify a great target audience with that. Now, I will say, before I started doing this, I did have a dormant indie author account on TikTok. That is what I've been using for the marketing side of things, but I hadn't posted on that in a year. I had like 700, and we'll just call it 750 followers on that account when I started. And as of right now, I think I'm around 800, or maybe I'm getting close to, I think I'm just under 900 followers, I think, on that TikTok account now. So I've gained, 100 or so followers, I think, since starting this process, which has been really awesome. And that's been it. I haven't paid for any ads. The only other thing I've done is I've attempted to do some email marketing with the people that have signed up. That has been a challenge. I don't love email marketing. I really, really, really don't like email marketing. I do it for my day job and I absolutely despise it. So that's an area that I really do need to get locked in on. But I'm not going to get too far into the weeds of things. I'll tell you a little bit about the writing app if you're interested. It is a writing app for fantasy authors. Basically, the problem that I had is I'm an indie author. I've been writing a fantasy series for the last year, and I ran into an issue where I got so disorganized and demotivated from writing because of the tools I was using before. Google Docs, Microsoft Word, pen and paper. It wasn't conducive to me the way that my brain works. So that's why I decided to build an app that would fix that problem for me. So what I've created, it's called Codex Heim. It is your living codex for your fantasy world. It brings all of the things that you need for writing a book into one space. So your manuscript, outline, all of your drafts, your notes, your to-do list, a timeline, a visual timeline where you can actually plot events on the timeline, a lineage system, like literally a canvas where you can move around, plot people, connect them, family trees, that whole thing. All of your world building, whether it be characters or regions, locations, traits for all of those individual things, they connect seamlessly to the manuscript. There's so much more that's in it and is getting added. Writing goals, a really robust writing goal system. There's also a progression system. Like if you like video games, there's a whole progression system where you gain XP and level up and you get like awards and achievements for writing your book. Really, really freaking cool. And so far the feedback has been tremendous. Obviously, we're doing pretty freaking well. So my goal is by the end of August to be at $1,000 in MRR. We'll see. Again, I'm not doing any ads. I'm just doing organic social media marketing. So we're gonna see what happens. But if you're curious to see how that process goes, hit the subscribe button here on the channel and let me know your thoughts on where things are at in the comments. And hopefully I'll see you at $1,000 in MRR.